Hey everybody, it's Shaman Sister Sin, and you're listening to the Meditations and More podcast brought to you by BetterHelp.com and LittleShaman.org. That's me, the Little Shaman. Today I wanted to talk to you about narcissists in politics and other fields. This is something a lot of people wonder about, so I thought we could talk about it on the show today. The word narcissist has been thrown around quite a bit in the last 10 years or so, particularly with regard to politics. The truth is, there are many narcissists and psychopaths in politics, just like there are many narcissists and psychopaths in the entertainment industry. Any position that carries fame, fortune, authority, or power is going to attract narcissistic people because these are the things they're usually seeking, particularly power. There are other fields where this is common as well, for example, police officers. There are some people who want to be a police officer because they want to help their community, and there are some people who want to be a police officer because they want to carry a gun and order people around. It's hard to tell how many of each type of person is represented in these fields because what gets the most attention are examples of negative and problem behavior. Even still, it's naive to think that positions of influence or power will not attract unscrupulous people. Of course they do. They always have, and they always will. Examples of power corrupting human beings can be found since time immemorial, since history began being recorded. It is the one thing we can count on when human beings are involved in something. Power corrupts. This happens even to people who are not narcissists, who are not seeking fame, and who are not power hungry. It only makes sense that for people who are already corrupted, the promise of power will attract them. And it makes sense that not only will they seek out these positions, they will be able to secure them and they will be able to succeed at them. There is also the fact that a certain level of narcissism is required to succeed in many of these fields in the first place. It's not surprising then that those who are more narcissistic will be more successful. This is only to a certain degree, though. There is a tipping point where someone's toxic narcissism can be too disruptive for them to succeed. If someone is lower functioning, they may not be successful in the long term. Even though their narcissism lends itself to their endeavors in other ways, their propensity to self-sabotage is too great, and while they may achieve some measure of success, they may simply be too self-destructive of a personality to sustain this success. Or, as happens in some situations, they can't handle a loss of status or power and they self-destruct over time. The exception to this is psychopaths. Psychopathic narcissists generally do not have the ego conflicts and toxic shame that are endemic to what we could call, quote, regular narcissists, and therefore they will engage less in self-sabotage and be higher functioning in general. The personality structure of most people, including regular narcissists, is thought to be triadic. It's 3 parts and includes the superego, or what many of us think of as the conscience. Contrary to popular belief, regular narcissists do have a superego. It does not function correctly, and ironically, it's what causes all of their ego conflicts and toxic shame, which is what pushes them to refuse to acknowledge any wrongdoing at all. The psychopathic personality structure is thought to be dyadic, meaning there are only 2 parts. They are in no conflict with themselves or their ego because they are essentially missing the conscience. And because of this, they don't usually wrestle with the things that can torment regular narcissists. Sadly, in the fields that we're talking about, psychopaths are often highly successful because the things that derail regular narcissists generally don't apply to them. For example, psychopaths might commit suicide when they're caught doing something wrong, but it's not because of intolerable and overwhelming shame at their exposure, as it generally is for narcissists. It's because they're trying to beat the game and stay in control, even right up till the very end. The behavior may be the same, but the motivation is not the same. It's very different. For narcissists, this may be a reactionary move to escape from feelings that they can't tolerate. For psychopaths, it can be a calculated checkmate to an opponent. Kind of like saying, well, you can't fire me because I quit. It is an unfortunate side effect in these fields that because psychopaths and narcissists are so successful, the non-pathological people, the people who have good intentions, may be pushed out. They may be set up and sabotaged by their pathological colleagues, or they may become so disgusted with their inability to affect the situation that they just leave. This results in an environment where all that's left are those who are after their own self-interest, who have no limits or scruples, who are willing to lie, cheat, sabotage others, or otherwise not play by the rules. This is not something we see only in government or entertainment either. We see it in sports, science in the medical community, academics, and everywhere else that power and authority are conveyed by a position. Perhaps if we were able to see those in these perceived positions of authority and power more eye to eye and recognize them as fallible human beings like the rest of us, the allure of perceived power in these positions would fade. I hope this clears a few things up for you. As always, I look forward to your comments, questions, and suggestions, so please keep those coming. I take appointments online, over the phone, via text, via messenger, via email, and through Skype worldwide. So if you're interested in speaking with me one-on-one, you can visit littleshaman.org and click the Book an Appointment tab to do that. I teach seminars, workshops, and clinics throughout the year, so if you're interested in seeing what we're running at this time, you can visit littleshaman.org to do that as well. You've been listening to the Meditations and More podcast brought to you by betterhelp.com and littleshaman.org. That's me, the Little Shaman. May the Great Spirit bless you and have a wonderful day.